Hello folks, today we're going to be taking a look at this 42-inch Hampton Bay Grayton in white. I acquired this fan not too long ago, brand new in the box, and to be totally honest and totally frank, this is a terrible fan. There's really no way around it. It's all stamped steel stuff and really cheap thin blades, and you know, for $20 this is what you got back in 1996 at the Home Depot. But you know, for $20 you got a fan with a light kit, and you got a fan with an optional switch cap, which I have on here, and you got a 3-inch and a 6-inch down rod. So if you buy a fan nowadays for $20, you don't get any of that stuff. You might get a light kit, but that's it. You're stuck with it. You can't take it off for any reason. But yeah, this is a pretty significant childhood fan of mine. This was actually not this exact fan, but one of the first fans I ever had when I was a kid was an SMC version of this fan. It was a SMC Grayton, or Hampton Bay Grayton by SMC. This is not an SMC OEM. This is a different OEM, and I'll go over the differences in a moment. But that fan I got from one of my best friends, and I still talk to him to this day. They were redoing their kitchen and they had one of these in there, and I still remember it to this day. And when they redid the kitchen, they gave the fan to me. Unfortunately, they just replaced it with a light fixture, so no fan went back up. But I got their old one, and I was pretty stoked about it. It was my first fan ever, so it really showed me a lot about how these fans work and how you install them and how they go together, how they come apart, how they work. It also shocked me a couple of times when I was a kid. There was probably a short circuit in it because it never worked right when I went over there. So, you know, I'd wire it up and touch the pull chain and it would shock me. So, probably one of the first times I ever got shocked. So, yeah. And then there was also a bakery right up the street from my house, and then they had 3 of these on like 3-foot down rods. Pretty tall ceiling in there too, probably like 13, 14 feet. So it was pretty cool to see all these in that bakery on long down rods, especially it being a spinner fan, so it was kind of cool to see that. So that's why I hopped on the opportunity when one of these came up for sale for reasonable money. So let's have a closer look at it, shall we? So if you look at the hardware on here, these are all pan head screws. SMC fans would have had the hex head screws for the motor and the blade brackets. Also, if you look up here, there is no SMC sticker. These holes up here, these 4 holes, I don't remember seeing those there. The top vents look different as well. I think they're a little skinnier than the SMC fans. And you probably can't see it, but there's no, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it there. The light lead wire is blue instead of red. I remember that very distinctly on my SMC Grayton fan, but it's a pretty close copy. You still have the heart-shaped brackets and the arch end blade tips. Probably the cheesiest bleached oak finish I've ever seen in my life. And you have the washers and the nuts to bolt the blades together. I really don't like those. They take forever to take apart and put together, so. But I really wanted to get this up and take a video of it, so why not? Get this back in the tripod here. And the furnace is just getting ready to shut down, so that's some good timing. All right, let's fire it up here. Really not a good performing fan. I mean, it moves some air, but it'd have to be a pretty small room in order for it to actually be effective. Or it might not even be effective at that point either. I mean, it's very shallow blade pitch and it's got really skinny blades, so That's really not a recipe for a good performing fan. Also a pretty audible hum. And the reason why I don't have the light kit on here is because when I got the fan, the globe had a pretty good crack in it, and I didn't want to risk it, so I just opted to put the switch cap on it. Medium, it's kind of stirring up the air, but it's really nothing impressive. And it's very well balanced, which kind of surprised me. Every single one of these fans I saw in the wild always had a wobble to it, but this one's actually pretty solid. And we're drawing just about, let's see, 0.4 amps on high, so it's not using too much power. Bearings are still a little tight, so the spin down isn't very long. Like I said, it's a terrible fan, but man, it is a very significant one for me. I saw these all the time when I was growing up. So, and I always thought they were cool looking. They were one of the last spinner fans you could buy. The Grayton 2 was probably the last one. I'd really like to find one of those Grayton 1.5s with the cool turbine vents. So I really think that's it. There's not much more to say about it. Here, I'll show you the box before we end the video here. Box is kind of beat up and it's got masking tape on it, but there's the crack in the globe there. There's the light fitter with the other fob and the 6-inch down rod, and we have the paperwork as well. So I'd say that's about it, folks. Thanks for watching.